Hold up. Wait a minute. Bruh. Did you hit the like button? Drop some rabbits in the chat. Let's go.
Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, hit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits. Drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. If you want the tea, come see me. Rabbit hole is the place to be for real news, not fake news. Celebrity news, breaking news around the clock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock, I rock, I rock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock. Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, chit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some drop 'em, drop 'em, drop 'em, drop 'em. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop 'em, drop 'em, drop 'em, drop 'em. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. True crime is my specialty. Exposed in the industry. Unsolved mysteries. Sticking to reality. Fair use commentary. Talking about cults. Trying to get results. Exploring hopes. Exploring, researching, debunking, investigating, being nosy, super nosy, being messy, being shady. Rabbit hole news. That's me, the chick with ADHD, unmedicated but quite educated. Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, hit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Hit that like, hit that like. Let's go, let's go. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
Hi, everybody. Woo. I was coughing before I came on. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. We definitely have to hit the ground running with this new stuff that's happening. Hold up. Let me fix this camera. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Shout out to everybody. Thank you, guys. You know, some people don't like the intro. And please know, like, at least I try to play my intro once a day. I don't play it all the time, at least once a day, typically in the morning, you know, because that's when the morning crew kind of shows up and stuff like that. In the evening, not so much if I go live more than once. But yeah, hold up, y'all. My hair's like bothering me. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Welcome, welcome. Okay, I feel like that's all right. Hairbrush. Okay, thank you, thank you. I know it is my intro, but people do be some people don't like it. You know, they say it's too long, rabbit. I know, but it's only like under 3 minutes, y'all, which is typical of an intro. But it's only played once in the morning, and that's it. Okay, welcome everybody. Kiss just blessed the chat with 10, not 3, 10 new memberships. I was looking at Kiss and then the number 3 because of your name. Kiss 315 just blessed the chat. Guys, if you guys have been gifted, make sure you select to be gifted because you never know. You might be selected and you might be gifted, okay? Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody. Thank you, guys. And thank you, Kiss. I appreciate your support of the channel. Welcome, everybody. So we got a there's a lot of stuff going on this morning, okay? First of all, Savannah dropped a new video that I have not watched. I was holding out to watch it with my people, which is you guys. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this and watch it with you guys. All I know is that she's asking, there's an increase to the reward at this point. That's what I know. But outside of that, I have not watched this. So I figured I'm going to wait till you guys are here. So let's get into this. Let me know what you guys think, and let's review this, okay? Again, her mom is still missing. There was some other news yesterday about a possible that this masked intruder possibly visited before, you know, the actual action happened. So let's get into this.
Hi there. I'm coming on to say it is day 24 since our mom was taken in the dark of night from her bed. And every hour and minute and second and every long night has been agony since then of worrying about her and fearing for her and aching for her. And most of all, just missing her, We know that Millions of you have been praying. So many people have been praying of every faith and no faith at all, praying for her return. And we feel those prayers. Please keep praying without ceasing. We still believe. We still believe in a miracle. We still believe that she can come home. Hope against hope. As my sister says, we are blowing on the embers of hope. We also know that she may be lost. She may already be gone. She may have already gone home to the Lord that she loves and is dancing in heaven with her mom and her dad and with her beloved brother Pierce and with our daddy. And if this is what is to be, then we will accept it. But we need to know where she is. We need her to come home. For that reason, we are offering a family reward of up to $1 million for any information that leads us to her recovery. All of the information about this reward and the details is in the caption below. You can call the 1-800-TIP line. You can be anonymous if you want. Someone out there knows something that can bring her home. Somebody knows. We are begging you to please come forward now. We also know that we are not alone in our loss. We know there are millions of families that have suffered with this kind of uncertainty. And for that reason today, we also are donating $500,000 to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children for their work in helping families who are coping with loss and actively looking for those who are lost. We are hoping that the attention that has been given to our mom and our family will extend to all the families like ours who are in need and need prayers and need support. So please, if you hear this message, if you've been waiting and you haven't been sure, let this be your sign to please come forward, tell what you know, and help us bring our beloved mom home so that we can either celebrate a glorious, miraculous homecoming or celebrate the beautiful, brave, and courageous and noble life that she has lived. Please be the light in the dark. Thank you.
Oh.
Hi there.
Wow. I hadn't watched it. I heard about the reward, but I hadn't watched the whole thing or anything like that. Wow. Whew. Thank you. Yes, I'm getting a little bit better. Guys, I guess my question to you guys is I don't think that a reward is going to make a difference. Does that make sense? Like, you know, time and when they were asking proof of life, um that was a specific time frame. That was a couple weeks ago. I don't know if a million is going to make a difference at this point. They're offering $1 million for the recovery, for her recovery, right? I just don't know if it's going to be like somebody calls, but if it's about money, right? The person's going to be asked a bunch of questions before. They're not just going to give you $1 million, guys, right? Like, it just doesn't happen that way. I just don't know if $1 million is going to make a difference at this point. In terms of just finding her. I think that's where my mind is at. Does that make sense? Um, stress can really age you. And somebody said in the chat, it looks like she's aged a good 20 years. Stress can age you. And you don't know what kind of devastation or if anything like this happens, it's kind of like one of those things where it's like you don't know what to expect, you don't know what to do, you don't know what to get excited about, or excuse me, I'm trying to clear my throat, excuse me. Yeah, it's like defeat. um yeah, stress can definitely kill you. Yeah, DJ Wicked. And I know that that makes sense, right? Like you would, and people have said this, like, I see this kind of twofold, okay? This is how I see this, right? Because we always talk about the things that we would have done if we were in her shoes. But the reality is that we don't want to be in her shoes, right? Whether it's your mom or your loved one, whatever it may be. It's very easy for us to talk about the things that we would do. But then when you're actually presented there in that situation, you probably don't know, right? And to me, I'm not Savannah, but I'm assuming that when all of this first went down, you're trusting law enforcement. You're trusting everybody around you, right? You're trusting these professionals that they're going to do what they're going to do. And then as time goes by, all of that starts dwindling because you start seeing different things and whatnot that just aren't playing out the way that you want them to. Does that make sense? So it's kind of like, I'm going to go put out a video, but this is me making a plea to these people. This case was treated as a woman who literally walked out of her home and she was just a lady and maybe she had dementia or something like that. I felt like that's how this was initially treated. And so, it's very easy for us to say, I would have done X, Y, and Z, but I really don't know what I would have done. Until we can actually be present in that situation, I don't know. All I know is that I don't ever want to be in a situation like that. Yeah, she looks drained. Now, yeah, the thing is though, and I think that people need to understand this too, is that at some point, and we have yet to get any clarity on this. I don't feel like we have any clarity whatsoever on this. We hear from TMZ side about the ransom notes, right? But the FBI hasn't even clarified that for us. You know what I mean? The first one. Why wasn't that taken serious? Or was it? I'm confused. Like, we have yet to really see the connection. If anything, there is no clarity in anything at this point at all. Mrs. Lovely Light. Mitch Lovely Miss. Girl, I always get your name all confused. I'm so sorry. She's tired of waiting on the sheriff to find answers. He keeps changing his story. FYI, I know I saw that you I always call you Eyes because it's easier. She's tired of waiting on the sheriff to find answers. He keeps changing his story. FYI, I changed my name. The sheriff keeps giving us different things. Y'all notice that the FBI hasn't really publicly talked about this whole situation. I don't think the FBI wants to talk. And I think that they're kind of side-eyeing the sheriff for even talking, honestly. I don't think that they're supposed to say anything. I think he wants the sheriff to be quiet. But the sheriff has felt the need to defend himself and defend his agency and defend everything. But the reality of this is that they're not even waiting for her. They're not waiting for signs of life. They're wanting to recover her. Right? So this $1 million is for her recovery. But in order for her to be recovered, somebody has to come forward and say, I know what happened to her. Right? And typically, I would think that this would be somebody who's involved in this. They're not this $1,000,000 is for the person. It's information, right? Or at least to her recovery, but if you know where she's at, and if you know where she could be recovered, that means you know something that a lot of people are trying to find out. That means you know something that a lot of people are trying to find out. That means that you know where this woman's at and who's involved. That means that the person is likely never gonna see this $1,000,000. I highly doubt it. Because who wouldn't just say, like my mom. Thank you, BJ. Shout out to BJ, y'all. Make sure you guys check out her channel. I think she did a short on this too. BJ, what do you think? Do you think like I know they're putting the $1,000,000 out there, but like I don't even think this is about money anymore. This is just her recovery. What do you think? Recovery, dead or alive, they want her back, right? Right? Yeah. Regardless of health or if she's like, there is a feeling of like at least you know where she's no longer here, where she's at, right? And where you can lay her to rest if that's what you believe in, like however you believe that situation to be. But I just don't think I think that whoever comes forward and who does speak out is somebody that knows what happened to her and how all of this happened. Hey Sylvia. You said follow the lady, she's beautiful. So yes, shout out to BJ. She is beautiful. Let's see. Just knowing is better than not, right, Doris, right? You said, girl, I've been all over the map with this. I think it's very odd to me that they can track down the president of Venezuela. They can track down the president of Venezuela and the head of the cartel in their home countries, but not Nancy. Ain't that some stuff? You can get the president of Venezuela, Maduro. The one of the head cartels, dies a couple days ago, right? He's killed, you know, and we can't find Nancy. The sum is wrong about the situation. You know what I mean? Hey, Mika, you said I think the family has just finally resigned that they may not have a chance to find her alive and just want closure. I agree. I totally, totally agree with that. For sure. So true. Because it's not about the money anymore. Like, this isn't. I don't know, man. And me, Blondie, you're right. And that's why I said, I know people. It's very quick for us to say I would do X, Y, and Z, but I'm telling you right now, I don't think I would know what to do in this situation. All I know is I would never want to be in a situation like this with any of my family members, right? Like we just wouldn't know what. I also think that we're not being told everything, right? Like clearly for the sake of the investigation, they're not going to tell us everything, every detail. They're trying to hide things. We find out things sometimes even by accident. And what I mean by that is you truly have a situation, Lord have mercy. Oh my God. Sorry, I had to stop. So Harvey, did Harvey get another letter? We're gonna have to go to Harvey in a minute. Oh my God. But before we do, let me finish my thought. We're not getting all the information, right? We're getting bits and pieces. What we do know is that I don't think the FBI or the sheriff knows who this person is or looking for someone. They allegedly have been polygraphing a bunch of people, going to gun stores and showing a bunch of pictures. And here we are, day 24. I literally thought we were day 20. It's day 24. I'm gonna go by her number because this is her mom, and she would know how many days. The timeline doesn't make sense. The clerical errors in the reporting her missing or endangered or all of that doesn't make sense. Nothing is making sense. We didn't even get the basics of what this lady was wearing the day she, what she was seen last wearing, right? Even if she wasn't even wearing those clothes, well, what was she wearing? Maybe somebody out there, before she went missing saw her and she would have recognized that she wore something. And so maybe she was in distress or something. We're not even given that. We're not giving nothing. Why? Why is this case so perplexing? That's the question. Why is it like this? Really? Joey says it's being reported that she wanted to put this reward up from day one and the sheriff wouldn't allow it. He said he would bring her home too. Many false leads. Like I said, well, shout out to everybody from Tucson that watches our channel. I have a feeling that you probably won't be electing that guy anymore. Or maybe you will. I don't know. But if you do, let me know how that works. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a rural community. I mean, it's desert like, but I don't know if I would consider it a rural overall. Some ain't right about this. All of it. And free speech. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Shout out to you, my love. Thank you for supporting the channel. James just gifted 5 memberships, so we have some gifters here, guys. Make sure you guys are putting hearts for the gifters. If you've been gifted, thank you, James and Kiss. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's go to Sheriff Harvey at the TMZ office, who's got some very interesting updates. I have not watched this. Sheriff Harvey at the TMZ office with the report of what he knows.
Guthrie's kidnapper, taken some days before she was abducted, has resulted in no leads. We have been talking with FBI sources who are telling us that the way they got this photo was through Google, because Nancy did not have a subscription for video from Nest.
Yeah, we kind of know that, right? Is that any different? You said Sheriff Harvey. I just need to understand. I don't understand. Like, what are we missing something here? Definitely, but none of this is making sense. This whole story is not making sense. And Sheriff Harvey now has a source in the FBI. I mean, these guys have sources everywhere. So now a source is leaking information from the FBI.
They were actually able to obtain it from Google the way they did the video. But because there's no video subscription, there was no timestamp on this. So based on their investigation, they believe that the photo could have been taken on January 11th. This is weeks before the kidnapping, but they're not sure of that. It could have been January 11th. That is an operating theory. They are not sure of that. They want to make that clear. We know that they have swept the area for video.
What photo is he talking about? What photo? What photo is he talking about? What photo is he saying? Let me make sure. Listen, I'm pretty sure this literally just dropped. It said 48 minutes ago. What photo? Is he talking about the video? I'm confused. Hold up. Y'all give me a minute, okay?
Photo of Nancy Guthrie's kidnapper taken some days before she was abducted.
Photo or video or both? I thought it was a video. I thought it was both.
Has resulted in no leads. We have been talking with FBI sources who are telling us that the way they got this photo was through Google, because Nancy did not have a subscription for video from Nest. They were actually able to obtain it from Google the way they did the video. But because there's no video subscription, there was no timestamp on this. So based on their investigation, they believe that the photo could have been taken on January 11th. This is weeks before the kidnapping, but they're not sure of that. It could have been January 11th. That is an operating theory. They are not sure of that.
So this is why they said that the intruder or this person, this alleged, well, it's not alleged, but the masked person went to the property twice, right? And that was the stuff that was put out there. So now Sheriff Harvey, who spoke to his resources in the FBI, they got together and basically said that the timeline that we were even initially being given, we're thinking that this photo, this is some ish, man. This is some ish. We're thinking that this photo was before she was kidnapped. But the reality is that it probably wasn't. Is that correct? Just like the theory that's been put out there that he might have gone to her property, this photo. Oh, Lord have mercy. That is insane. Okay. All right, Sheriff Harvey, take it away.
I want to make that clear. Um, we know that they have swept the area for video from neighbors anywhere they could get it. It has resulted in no leads with respect to identifying a vehicle or a suspect. They are frustrated about this. Now, I do want to say one other thing. Kash Patel had said shortly after the kidnapping that that photo was taken the day of the kidnapping. That is incorrect. We know that. It
Oh
was
my.
taken before the kidnapping. But again, the operation.
So Kash Patel had put that out there. You know what? I cannot. Let me do something real quick. Hold up, y'all, because we about to knock some people out right now in a minute. Literally, Kash Patel said what now? He did put that out there on the FBI post. Hello, what are we missing here? I got to get my bedazzle one that Abraham made me. Look, what? What? I don't know what to say.
Theory, January 11th. They're not certain of that. Let's talk about Savannah's new video where she says the family is offering $1 million.
You know what? We need to stop. We need to go back a little bit. What is he saying?
Kidnapping. But again, the operating theory, January 11th. They're not certain of that. Let's talk about Savannah's new video where she says the family is offering $1 million and acknowledging that it would be a miracle if her mom is still alive. We are told the FBI never told the family that the chances of finding their mom alive was slim to none. They never said anything about it. This is something that the family kind of came to terms with on their own, we're told. The FBI's $100,000 reward still stands. So $1.1 million is on the table right now, leading to the return of Nancy Guthrie. The FBI wants people to call it, not necessarily calling PEMA, because you then have two law enforcement agencies, you have cross signals. So it's 1-800-CALL-FBI. They want serious leads only, and they want to make it clear anybody who's trying to scam the Guthrie family, they will be prosecuted.
So wait a minute. So the FBI is telling them don't call the Pima County number? This is some crazy ass shit, you guys. Like this is a mess. I thought it was just a theory. I thought it was like somebody put out there. I didn't even know. So now he's relaying the information for the FBI, saying that they got the dates wrong, or at least that it was incorrect. And that was all through the Kash Patel PR statement.
The last thing, and something I think is very interesting, is I spoke with one source from the FBI who said the reality is this is becoming a cold case. But that doesn't mean it's.
Oh, get the what? But then less than 24 hours, Brian Ensign said this is not a cold case. I swear to God, like, what are we doing here, y'all? And this is the thing, it's like the worst shit you could say. It's a cold case. Why is it a cold case? Wow. I am in shock. Hold up. Brian Ensign, I swear to God that yesterday we even played this clip here. I swear that I was like, well, why would people think it's a cold case? It's not a cold case. Look at Brian Ensign, day 23, which was yesterday. So now, as of 24 hours, it's a cold case. Well, listen, Ellie, they said the FBI, Sheriff Harvey said that he's talking to the FBI.
Over. And this source was talking about something that we've seen many times where you could have a kidnapper at a bar one night drinking and then bragging about what he or she did. You could have an, a girlfriend of the kidnapper at the time who then becomes an ex girlfriend who knows information and goes to authorities, or that girlfriend could be the one to actually, go to a bar, go to a store, go somewhere and either talk about it directly or insinuate something that is interesting enough to pursue. So even though this is becoming a cold case,
Oh my God.
and it is clearly one of the reasons.
Harvey, you are such a asshole. Oh my, if I was Savannah Guthrie, man, I would have scorched earth with your ass. You don't even know. Listen, I'm gonna need Robert Stacks over here from Unsolved Mysteries with his creepy voice and his trench coat, because what are we doing here? This is ridiculous. Oh no.
That's why the Guthrie family has upped the reward. That doesn't mean it's over. As what FBI source put it, it just takes that one person, and they believe it's going to happen at some point. One
Right.
person who opens his or her mouth, and the case cracks wide open. Photo of Nancy Guthrie's.
Okay. Let me time out here for a little bit. I don't even know. I'm like, wow. Who's paying Harvey? He said the FBI. The FBI is not. Well, he said, listen, he has his sources. I can believe that there's sources that he talks to. I just don't know if his sources truly are they just trolling him or what? I don't even know what to say. So I'm stuck on so many parts of this situation now because there are so many parts. But here's Brian Enton, right? He told us, we played this video yesterday, not a cold case. Breaking: Nancy Guthrie suspect was at the house before the kidnapping.
Hey guys, so a pretty big update here. We have learned, remember the photos of the suspect outside of Nancy Guthrie's house? There was the one of him wearing the backpack and one without the backpack. Sources tell me that those photos were taken on different days, which means that the kidnapper was at Nancy Guthrie's house before the kidnapping, before the day of the kidnapping. I have a source confirming this, and News Nation's Libby Dean in Washington, D.C. also has a source confirming this. And I was wondering about this because if you look at the photos, you can see that the suspect has a backpack on in one of the photos and does not have a backpack on in the other photo, which was very confusing. And now it makes sense according to our sources because it means that the one photo was taken earlier, was not taken the day that the suspect allegedly kidnapped Nancy Guthrie. So
why are we just now finding out about this? This is what I don't understand. Hold up. Why are we just now? So you mean to tell me this? Okay, like he's saying this is different days? Why are we just now finding out about this? So when people were looking at this, they're looking at this like all of this happened in one day. All of this was the day of the kidnapping. That's how we approach this, that this was it. And so when all these evaluators and professionals and former FBI's, law enforcement, they're looking at these photos. Let me tell you the ish that this is like literally. You got these former law enforcements, okay, that are on YouTube. Shout out to them, okay? But they're literally looking at these photos and they're going through these photos, right? This is an amateur. This is this because he did it this way and that way. Well, if this was different days, is this even the same fucking person at this point? He's taller over here and he's shorter over here. He's got the reflective backpacks right there, but he doesn't have it over here. And what about the other footage that they said is not related to this? Is this the same freaking person? How do we know? You got some people in the chat who said, well, it's giving kind of female-ish. because of the shadows and the yada, yada, yada. It's giving this. What is going on? I'm confused. And yet, and still, we can find the president from Venezuela in a whole different country, right? And we can't figure out what the hell happened here. What happened here?
Of Nancy Guthrie's house. There was the one of him wearing the backpack and one without the backpack. Sources tell me that those photos were taken on different days, which means that the kidnapper was at Nancy Guthrie's house before the kidnapping, before the day of the kidnapping. I have a source confirming this, and News Nation's Libby Dean in Washington, D.C. also has a source confirming this. And I was wondering about this because if you look at the photos, you can see that the suspect has a backpack on in one of the photos and does not have a backpack on in the other photo.
So is this two different suspects, 2 different days? And notice this too. I just noticed something. Is he wearing the same, he or she wearing the same sweater? With there's like a black strap on it, and the other one you can barely see it. Is it the same? Is it not the same? Now, this is some issue, guys, because you literally have had commentators online give different things and thought processes behind this. We're all thinking it all happened in the same day. How is this the perfect kidnapping? How? If it all happened, and even people have said, well, he's an amateur, because an amateur, you would totally put, this is what you would do. You put grass, you try, like, what is this? So is this even the same person?
Photos, you can see that the suspect has a backpack on in one of the photos and does not have a backpack on in the other photo, which was very confusing. And now it makes sense according to our sources, because it means that the one photo was taken earlier, was not taken the day that the suspect allegedly kidnapped Nancy Guthrie. So was he casing the house days earlier? We don't know, but we now know that those photos come from different days, which is really interesting. Hey guys, so a pretty big update here.
I mean, that's an understatement. That that whole theory, was she targeted? Could she have been targeted? Somebody was targeted, and the sheriff was asked, hey, do we think that this was a targeted thing? Oh no, we don't think that this was a targeted thing. We don't even know if it was a targeted thing. And then I'm not buying this whole Google bullshit. Let me just say this. So she didn't have a subscription, but yet you're able to get pictures of somebody in the two different days. So is that footage all one day, 2 days? What is it? I'm so confused. Way to just muddy the damn what. Like, if people just said what it is and what it was, I cannot, man. This is insane. So then NBC sources claim Savannah Guthrie wanted to post $1 million rewards. Excuse me. Had to clear my throat. 1 million. Wanted to post a $1 million reward on day one, but the sheriff discouraged it, saying it would lead to too many false leads. So Savannah wanted to post 1 million, and he was like, no, don't do it. Too many false leads. And I don't know if, I am not at all surprised if that was his thought process behind, because it could have been. That could very well be the case, right? Like, if you're posting out there 1 million, and they're just preliminary looking at the investigation, it's one thing to post a reward. I don't know if 1 million would have been something that would have posted right away. You know what I would have done is probably taken the first ransom note that was dropped off at the first, local station. I probably would have taken that serious, right? The question for me remains that has yet to be answered by the sheriff or anybody online. When did Pima realize that they had a crime scene? That this wasn't some lady with a medical issue that just walked out of her home? When? When and what? When did that happen? That's the question that I have. When did they realize that this was a crime scene? Because like I said, they treated this the very first day, that Sunday night. They were out there searching. There was he was holding a mini press conference for the locals. We're looking for her, we think she just walked away. They treated it like she just walked away. Like nothing happened. So, anyways, wow, I'm in shock, you guys. I really am in shock. I don't know what shocks me more. Is it the fact that we weren't told the beginning of the situation initially, or that everybody's kind of being led on? I don't know. And everybody's using their resources and their experiences and stuff like that, but we're not even being given accurate information. Nancy Guthrie kidnapping. Lord have mercy, all these ads. Suspects appear to have had made a previous visit. The man suspected of kidnapping Nancy Guthrie on February 1st appears to have made a prior visit to the missing woman's southern Arizona home. So investigators released photos. We're saying that this might be 2 different days. Same outfit, 2 different days. If they would have paid for the subscription, it makes you wonder, had they seen this person before, what they would have done. Would we have a kidnapping right now? If they would have seen this, if and we could sit there and the shouldas and the couldas and the wouldas, right? But if Nancy had a paid subscription to this, and clearly all it was doing, it was filming. It wasn't even like an alarm system, y'all. It wasn't an alarm system. So if that's the case, if he or she visited more than once, this wasn't I'm stealing property type of situation. This was literally a planned, targeted kidnapping. That's what this was from the beginning. Premeditation. They were scoping out the area. So they're not confirming the 2-day theory. And I heard this, right? Because they did put out a posting on their social media. We are aware that the doorbell images released earlier in the investigation depict the suspect in different stages of attire, including with and without a backpack. There is no date or timestamp associated with these images. Therefore, any suggestions that the photographs were taken on different days is purely speculative. Nanos posted this 13 hours ago. TMZ just dropped a video saying contrary 48 minutes ago. Brian Enton, who I'm more inclined to believe, by the way, I'm just saying I am, dropped a short, an hour ago, supporting the theory that this could be 2 different days. So now you have this is what the hell is happening. You have Pima County saying one thing here 13 hours ago, and now you have the FBI and their sources telling the media something else. And let me find out that then we got these disgruntled journalists up on this YouTube. The bloggers are spreading misinformation when all of this is coming straight from them, and they can't even sit at the same table. 2 different agencies. We're seeing it play out right here. Okay? Because you can't have it both ways. But you have 2 different working theories here. This is insane. Hold up, Linda. Hold up, okay? There's no date or timestamp associated with these images. What did Harvey say? If you believe Sheriff Harvey, because of the paid subscription and the age, and that was a different day. We don't even have a date. We don't have dates. All they had to do was pay a fucking subscription. Therefore, any suggestions that the photographs were taken on different days is purely speculative. This remains an active and ongoing criminal investigation, as with many investigations. Conclusions will be guided by verifiable evidence. So is the FBI not working with verifiable evidence when they put that out there through the media? Conclusions will be guided by verifiable evidence and established facts. Speculation without factual support does not advance the investigative process. 13 hours ago. Right. That's the question. Living live every day. Thank you so much for the 199. You said if different days, why not come prepared for the camera? Why not even just put that out there, guy? Like you could have just said, this is not the same day, guys. But they made it sound like when they put this out here that this was the day that she was kidnapped. And then people had which was a good question. Well, if this was the day that this was kidnapping, this is when this happened. I mean, is he the only person? So did he remove where's this footage at, right? Why won't they release the footage of the last time this woman, Nancy, when she walked in and out of her property? Why isn't there footage of that? Why can't they release footage? Because you know they can do it. I mean, they did it with this one and they said they couldn't because there wasn't a subscription, right? But why don't they release at least what they're speculating to be the last time that she walked out of her property through the front door where this camera is angling? This is so weird. Y'all, like this story, every day, it just gets weirder. Right, Lexi? Why isn't the data even retrievable? And you know Google has that metadata or metadata. You said, I don't even think they used the front door, and that's where the camera was at. This is some ish. Where are the times and date, time/date stamps on the video pics? Also, now sheriff is saying 2 different dates are pure speculation. But according to the media, and again, these are sources like TMZ, I'll get you. Like I wouldn't, TMZ is another thing. But Brian Ensign just said in his own reporting that they talked to somebody, 2 different people that are reporting on this story have talked to people from the FBI. And they're saying, they're giving a different theory. Mallory says speculation doesn't help the case. Sheriff Nanos himself doesn't help the case. That's what I'm saying but who's putting the speculation out if it's not them? The FBI and law enforcement who are reporting to who? To the media. So that's what I'm saying is like we always get the shitty end of the stick for speculating, but they're also not telling people what is going on. It feels, thank you, Cheeks, it feels deliberately confusing, guys. I don't know why. I don't know why, man. This is some issue, guys. All of it. Like, and I'm not, listen, this is Ensign himself. He's literally telling us that they spoke to somebody from the FBI.
We have learned, remember the photos of the suspect outside of Nancy Guthrie's house? There was the one of him wearing the backpack and one without the backpack. Sources.
That doesn't even look like they're wearing the same coat, guys. I mean, you could barely see the black strap right there. I don't know, man.
Tell me that those photos were taken on different days, which means that the kidnapper was at Nancy Guthrie's house before the kidnapping, before the day of the kidnapping. I have a source confirming this, and News Nation's Libby Dean in Washington, D.C. also has a source confirming this. And I was wondering about this because if you look at the photos, you can see that the suspect has a backpack on in one of the photos and does not have a backpack on in the other photo, which was very confusing. And now it makes sense according to our sources because it means that the one photo was taken earlier, was not taken the day that the suspect allegedly kidnapped Nancy Guthrie. So was he casing the house days earlier?
That's what it was.
We don't know, but we now know that those photos come from different days, which is really interesting.
There you go. So the theory that this was a botched robbery, or I mean that I'm throwing that theory away at this point because clearly that should tell us that that's not even the case, right? That this was somebody who was casing the property for quite some time. But here Nanos is saying something different. Nebulous, thank you so much for gifting memberships. Guys, if you've been gifted, put some hearts in the chat. Thank you, Nebby. I appreciate it. I'm trying to get a reaction. I can't. Okay. Well, damn. Come on. There you go. Thank you. Appreciate it. That I don't know what to say. about that. Now, somebody made a very interesting comment. Hold up. Let me see. You said, oh, let me slow down a little bit. Exactly. Where's the other footage? He looks at the camera and said this is what it was. So it's a coincidence. Google found these videos. What I'm saying. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. Google has it. Google has it. Google has it, but they're not giving us a time frame. This is not making sense whatsoever now. So the theory of oops, we were breaking into the house and she happens to walk in there. I'm throwing that away. I'm burning it. It's burned. Okay. It's burned. It's out of here. Somebody was scoping the house. The question whether this was a targeted attack, whether it was to target Savannah or Nancy, it was clearly they were casing before. We just weren't given that information. There's cameras on traffic lights, yet they can't find any vehicles coming and going in that area at night. I have a question about that too. So we need saying this from the we need to start saying this from the beginning. This is not normal case. So many twists and turns. I'm telling you, and this is why I need Robert Sachs over here. Okay, Robert Sachs and his trench coat and creepy voice would have solved this case already. I'm just saying, because they said that she left and came back through the garage, not the front door. Correct. And I'm not disputing that. Is it LaRonda? I'm not disputing that. The problem that I have with them is that even if she came from the back or the front, we don't. Is it accurate? Is her missing date even accurate at this point? No, I get it. They're saying that the daughter saw her and they had dinner and all this other stuff, and there was people that saw her, right? But I would like to know, when was the last time that she actually exited her property from the front? That would be nice to know. Just a question. And I mean, clearly nowadays you don't just put cameras in the front of your property. Put them in your garage, put them in the back door, put them near your windows. If he was casing, he had been casing for quite some time. And what really bothers me, guys, is that if Nancy had a subscription, would we have an abduction today? If this person was caught casing, if there was a security system, if the light would auto turn on when somebody walks up, even that, if you know those sensor motion lights, if somebody walks up, I got those. Okay. It could be a person or a raccoon or a skunk or whatever. Girl, I got them. And you just can't ever be too careful. Scare the shit out of people. If you're going to be walking up to a property that does not belong to you, you're not supposed to be there at whatever time in the morning. We're not given a time frame. Now, here's the question that I have, because it's coming to me and I'm unmedicated. Did they give us a time frame? They didn't give us a date, right? I'm thinking back of when this was announced. Kash Patel, let me see. Let me go back to the FBI. Phoenix FBI. Let's see. Did they make a statement about what's going on too? So did they give a time frame of when they believe that? I thought they gave a time of when they believe that intruder was walking up to the property, Cash, because we were literally putting in a time frame of when things could have happened. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Unless he edited it out or has deleted it or something, which could have very well happened. I think he deleted that post. Hold up. This is what he said. I don't know if it's able to tell me whether somebody edits it out. Additional recovered images from the same camera at Nancy Guthrie's front door the morning of her disappearance, including 2 videos. The morning. There it is. The morning of her disappearance. Additional. Okay, so I guess they could say that because they recovered it the morning of her disappearance, or are they saying that this is from the morning that she disappeared? During the morning of her disappearance, including 2 videos of the individuals. Man, this makes me look at this a little bit different. Hold up, y'all. So, did he have a gun on the other photo? He didn't have a gun here. So look at this. So now looking at this a little bit different. Let me make myself smaller, okay? Context and wording is everything. Hold up, let me see. Yeah, we don't even know the date of either video, right? Yeah, English. That's what I'm saying is that do we even know that this was the day that she went missing? We have not been given anything. You know what's even funnier is that when you went back to the second day, they discovered a camera over the garage or the roof. Wouldn't that be part of the very first day of the investigation? Tell them, Sylvia. Literally, suspect has different shoes. Remember, we were John, we were arguing. John Mahalo, we were arguing about the fact that it seemed like, well, in this footage, and it could have been a camera angle, we're thinking that this is the morning of her disappearance, right? And people are fitting this all in that time frame. That's what gets to me about this, because we really have been wasting time in this ish right here. And then you wonder why you have people not believing and not trusting law enforcement when you like deliberately are misinforming this way. You can't make this up. Hold up. So this is one day, possibly. Was he wearing the same outfit? Look here, he has that little holster in the bottom, right? Here, you can't even see that holster. This is insane, man. The way this was delivered, like you can't even. He doesn't have a backpack, right? Because he left it. Let me put it aside. This happens to be a different day. We don't even know if it's the same person. Could be a different person. Different person, different day. I just need to know why they did this way. Look, he's looking down. Is this a different day too? How many days is this all? How often is this man walking to and from the door? Unless this is or this person, unless it's a different day. This makes no sense. And again, this was unless he edited the posts. Additional recovered images from the same camera, not a different camera, at Nancy Guthrie's front door the morning of her disappearance. They led the public to believe that this was the morning of, when really it was different days, including 2 videos of the individuals. Lord have mercy. You can't make this up, man. Oh, cheeks. I don't know, man. That would be crazy work. I would hope not, but you never know. Where's the there was an Amazon package on the first footage? Hold up. I didn't see that. On the side? Let me see. Yeah, that's the doorknob right here. Hold up. That's the doorknob. I see the shiny part of the doorknob right there. This is some shit, you guys. Like, this is literally something else. Well, are we assuming that Nancy was taken from the front door because of the blood droplets? What if she was, I don't know, hit in the garage, and then for whatever reason they decided to open the front door and all that blood is from that? Yeah, I don't see no Amazon packages there. I'm lost for words, y'all. Yeah, did y'all hit the like? Did y'all hit the like, please and thank you. In Enton's first video, there was an Amazon package at the front door, a blue and white one. Oh, and the first video where he discovered the blood droplets, right? Well, it is draining, but it's like you're right. I don't disagree with you on that at all. But what is concerning to me is that You know, we're watching all of this play out. My camera's about to die. I don't know why. Hold up, yo. The battery should be full. Hopefully it doesn't die. If it does, I'll change the battery. I don't know what to say. How do we know that the blood isn't dropped from a weapon used on her? Potentially. We don't know. Yeah, the Amazon package I thought was dropped after she was taken after the sheriff first released the scene, right? Because they kept treating it not like a crime scene. I don't believe any, like, it's just so hard, man. Okay, so let's get into this article. So investigators released photos and videos retrieved from a damaged doorbell camera on February 10th. Okay, they did that. That's on Kash Patel's FBI post, right? Showing an armed man wearing a backpack, ski mask, and gloves in the early morning hours before the 84-year-old mother of the NBC News host, Savannah Guthrie, disappeared. Now, ABC reports Monday that a separate image of the person they believe to be the suspect. Now, this is ABC News. The original report came from here. So, if ABC News is reporting this, ABC News reported Monday that a separate image of the person they believe to be a suspect showed him outside of Guthrie's home at some point before her apparent abduction. He is not carrying a backpack in that photo. Is that why they believe? I mean, if they don't have a date, are they saying that this is 2 different days? The suspect might have been surprised to see Guthrie's doorbell camera during the first visit. Yeah, my battery just died. All right, let me change it while I'm reading. Hold up. The Guthrie doorbell camera during the first visit. The suspect might have been surprised to see the Guthrie doorbell camera during the first visit and changed his mind. Okay. So they're saying that this is clearly not the same days. ABC sources speculate during his return trip, the subject tried to obscure the camera with is it foliage? Authorities have announced few breaks in the case that remains a mystery for more than 3 weeks. A $200,000 reward is being offered. Well, now it's a lot more. There's that. There was people that were putting up for the reward. I think it was like a lawyer or something like that. In leads to finding Guthrie, finding Guthrie or her kidnapper. Investigators have asked the Guthrie neighborhood to review their home security footage dating back to January 1st for possible clues. Jesus. Oh my God. I am just like, girl, I don't know. What do y'all think? Let me know in the chat while I change this camera battery thing. Give me 1 second. I'll be back here in a minute. You said, hold up. You said the blood could be older. Maybe. It got a nosebleed from the day before she went to Annie's. Nosebleeds are very common in older people, especially if they are on blood thinners. Ay, you guys. This is some stuff, man. I'm telling you, and none of this whole situation does not make sense. Okay, hold up. I'm back. I got the camera going. None of it makes sense at all. And the frustration that this must be undergoing, the different kinds of news reports and media. If they don't find any good DNA, and if the DNA is linked to the family and friends, then they all need to be investigated. There was no blood on the ground in the video, though, right? There was no blood on the ground that we noticed. It should have been locked down. It should have been treated as a crime scene. And that doormat should have been taken immediately. That doormat probably had all kinds of DNA on it from the kidnapper. I agree. Excuse me. Let me shout out some people. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so behind. Mallory, thank you so much for becoming a member. Shout out to you. Janet, shout out to you. Thank you. Your membership for 7 months, my love. Thank you. Ada, OG member 26 months. You're approaching OG status. I think OG's at the 40s at this point. Ada, thank you so much, my love, for supporting the channel. I appreciate you. Y'all are amazing. Thank you. And Machete USA, member for 9 months. Thank you, love, for supporting my channel. I appreciate everybody. Thank you. UH5JG, my love. You're a member already. Did you renew your membership? Shout out to you. Thank you, love. Yeah, I probably need some new batteries. I charge them all the time a lot now because I go through batteries now, but I love it. You said, so this is all from the famous rich person that they can't find. So who did it? What about us poor folks? It's actually scary. I don't know. All of this does not make sense. Let me just say that it just does not make sense. I'm convinced Nancy got home when she did. Who's to say someone didn't log into the church for her? Period. There you go. That's a great question. She could have been missing for a few days before this. I want the roof cam footage. Me too. I want to know what I have a lot of questions about this. Like I am in shock. I'm not like this whole FBI stuff with the footage and stuff like that. Thank you, Rib Guy. Rib Guy didn't gift himself. Shout out to Rib Guy who didn't give himself this time. Thank you for the membership. If you guys have been gifted, put some hearts in the chat, please, and thank you. I don't know, man. This I don't know what to believe. Okay, now let me go to Brian Enton. This to me, this changes everything for me, right? Knowing that, and the fact that the Pima County Sheriff is not even acknowledging this footage, or at least this possibility. Okay. 13 hours ago, Brian Ensign said Pima County Sheriff responding to the report saying there is no date or timestamp associated with these images. Therefore, any suggestions that the photographs were taken on different days is purely speculative. These two photos of Nancy Guthrie's suspect were taken on different days, sources confirmed to me, indicating that the suspect appeared to have visited Nancy Guthrie's house before the kidnapping. This changes everything. It really does. You can't, how? Thoughts, opinions, guys? What do you guys think? Hold up. It doesn't make any sense because it's not true. They don't want it to make sense. Law enforcement doesn't want the perp to know they're onto him. Well, here's my question. Y'all remember the Uber guy? Did they interrogate him as long as they did Carlos? That's what I want to know. You know, the Uber guy, like, did they do that interrogation to that guy too? Was he in there for a long time too? I want to know. Literally, I think it's a fair question. We the people want to know. But I want to also know why we can't come to terms or at least make up our minds about this. This is really concerning. Look at okay, hold up. Let me all right. We are going to watch a little bit of Banfield. Now, does she address this too? Because I'm kind of curious to know what her theory is now. Now I'm kind of side-eyeing everything at this point. Are we still saying that they're not like has she corrected herself yet? Is she still standing on business with the brother-in-law? Let me see. Different days. Are we fighting? What's going on? Let me see. Oh, what's going on here? Hold up.
From Fox Digital, breaking: a source with knowledge of the investigation just confirmed to me, meaning Michael Ruiz, that these two images were taken on different days and may show the same person. The image with no backpack was taken before the suspected abduction of Nancy Guthrie. Source declines to pinpoint the date, citing the open investigation. That's very important. Because was it the night before? A few days before? Weeks? Months before? Was it maybe just a few hours before because the date changed within a couple hours?
Oh, shit.
Right, of 1:47 a.m.? I'm going to get into that really in depth with a former U.S. Marshal who tracks bad guys for a living, or used to track bad guys for a living for the U.S. Marshals, now does it for his security company. I will continue with Michael Ruiz's actual reporting here. Authorities have alternately asked for neighbors to check their home security systems for the entire month of January. From the night of January 11th, we all wondered, why that date? Is it possible this is the date of this other image? Certainly is interesting that January 11th seemed to come out of the blue, and now we're finding this other image came before the abduction date. And the hours surrounding Guthrie's disappearance between January 31st and February 1st. That's the dates that the sheriff's office said they wanted video from all the neighbors. Michael Ruiz continues, this indicates that whatever data the FBI and Google accessed to recover the missing video included more than just the final event in her camera's memory. Hey, and just a quick reminder, this break tonight came so fast and furious and late. I want to make sure you subscribe, because if you subscribe, you're not going to miss these updates, especially when they come.
Okay, hold up. I think she's going to talk about her sponsors here in a minute. You said not sure if they will solve this case at this point. But here's the deal is why are we calling it a cold case? Like, I think that was so wrong of Sheriff Harvey. Sheriff Harvey really needs to chill the F out, but he's not the only one who's done it too. Like, there's been others who've called this a cold case, and I'm like, that why are we doing that? That's not even like, what do you mean a cold case? It's just weird. And who determines that? Is it because the media loses interest? Now it's a cold case. I didn't know we were going by those measures. I'm confused. I think honestly people are tired of talking about it, yet they still want to listen to the updates, but they're tired of talking about it. You said, and this is a good question. I want to know why 2 vehicles were seized. They can only be seized if they're not related. They can't be seized if they're not related to the crime or believed to be with a good reason. Huh? You said I haven't cleared anyone. Who is clear? I don't know what to think. Almost don't care anymore because no one can tell the truth. It makes it really difficult, guys. Honestly. They have not exhausted every tip, so it's not cold. Uber driver checking for cameras after he dropping her off and decided to go through the garage. Apparently he was interviewed. Maybe. I don't know. Was he interviewed as extensively as Carlos? No one is paying attention to Harvey's notes. So now it's a cold case according to Harvey. Right, Belen? That's ridiculous. I don't even know what to think.
So late at night. So just hit the subscribe button and you'd be doing me a real solid. Hey, quick note from my sponsor. Let's be
okay. Hold up. Now it says right here, 2 photos of the Nancy Guthrie suspects were taken. This is what sources confirm.
Reporting saying this. These 2 photos of the Nancy Guthrie suspect were taken on different days. Sources confirmed to me, Brian Enton, and Libby Dean. She is a Washington correspondent who's been breaking a lot of news on this story in Washington, and she has cited in the past that FBI sources have indicated information to her before. She's not saying that on this story. And Brian continues saying, indicating the suspect appears to have visited Guthrie's house before the kidnapping. Now, hold on to your socks because, the boomerang effect hit us again with the sheriff tonight because Matt Finn from Fox News Channel spoke with the sheriff. And
oh my God, I didn't know that, but then she said the boomerang effect. I'm telling you, man, this is just a hot freaking mess. Dave, listen, the sheriff just needs to is he going to finish his term? That's the question.
And let me tell you what the sheriff said. Matt Finn says, new Pima County Sheriff's Department says reports that the Guthrie Nest camera shows the same person on different days is, quote, purely speculative. Let me continue from Matt Finn. Quote, this is what the sheriff says. Quote, we are aware that doorbell images released earlier in the investigation depict a suspect in different stages of attire, including with and without a backpack. There is no date or time stamp associated with these images. Therefore, any suggestion that the photographs were taken on different days is purely speculative.
Oh my gosh.
Sheriff continues, this remains an active and ongoing criminal investigation. As with any investigation, conclusions will be guided by verifiable evidence and established facts.
Now, I did pull Matt Finn's post. Look what Matt Finn put. All right, so Matt Finn, new tonight, Sheriff Nanos tells Fox News this evening that the information and reporting out there that say that the original Guthrie Nest camera video depicts the same person on a different day did not come from him on the FBI. Huh? Sheriff Nanos tells Fox News this evening that the information and reporting out there that say that the original Guthrie-Ness camera video depicts the same person on a different day did not come from him or the FBI. The info that it occurred on a different day did not come from the FBI or the Pima County Sheriff's Office, Nanos tells Fox. As we know, sources from inside either agency may be sharing different information with the media. Above is what the sheriff officially says on the matter, and notably this time he mentions or speaks on behalf of the FBI. So is he speaking on behalf of the FBI? Hold up. Let me see if I can pull that interview from Nanos. Sheriff Nanos, Yosemite Sam Jr. Oh, I hate that rabbit. Okay, hold on. Sheriff Nanos, Fox News. Only because I'm sick can I sound like Sheriff Nano or Yosemite Sam. Matt Finn. Let's see, can we pull it? Matt Finn. Fox News. Nope, nothing new yet. I mean, Fox hasn't uploaded anything. Let's see, Sheriff Enano. That's what it should be, his name. Sheriff Enano. Sheriff Nanos, Fox News. See if I can pull an actual interview. Nope, no interview yet. Damn, it would have been nice to get this on camera. Hold up. Guthrie suspect. Photos may not be the same person, expert says. Now the experts are saying something different. Experts, can y'all get it together? Because y'all were like over here with this guy. He doesn't know what he's doing, yada, yada, yada. And now you're saying something else. Which one is it, experts? Which one? Anyways, so the info that it occurred on a different day did not come from the FBI or Pima. So Nanos is saying that info didn't, that was 16 hours ago. So is Nano speaking for the FBI? Because the FBI is not giving any kind of statement at this point. Let me go up again. And then Matt Finn shares, the FBI originally described the recovered images from the Guthrie-Ness camera as the morning of her disappearance. We just read this and referred to one individual. New Pima County's department, they just made a statement. He said it's purely speculation, but this time he's not actually mentioning the FBI. He's not saying that the FBI didn't say that. Breaking, Savannah Guthrie says in a new video that she's offering $1 million. Okay, and then from here, here's the instructions on Savannah Guthrie's post on Instagram for the reward. Okay, again, the people that collect this reward are people that are going to have to cooperate, and I don't know if we're even there yet, quite honestly. This is insane, man. All this like crazy information. James says, oh my God, James, thank you so much for this super sticker. You said, to me, big question is, why don't you have any sponsors? Every time I get a sponsor email, it's like somebody from like, I don't know, like the email that I don't really recognize, and they want access to my account and my money. So are they trying to sponsor me, or are they trying to take my money? Which one is it? I can never decipher which is a real one. Every sponsor that I've had, I would like to do a local business, but you know, I haven't had any local businesses hit me up. So that would be really cool if we can do that. But I don't know. I don't want to, you know, unless I want to give them my login information. We'll sponsor you, but give us your YouTube login information. Something doesn't sound right about that. Something don't sound right about that. You know, so is he like answering for the FBI? That's what I want to know. Is he answering for the FBI? Lord have mercy. You said if what is being said about him is true, he is on the edge of obstruction of justice. Ooh. You said Nanos don't have the balls to say something like this. They couldn't trust him to keep a story straight. I don't know what to believe with Nanos. I don't know, man. This is crazy work. Morris, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. Y'all, if you've been gifted, put some hearts in the chat. Thank you, Morris. Thank you. Appreciate it. Shout out to our gifters. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Nanos bucks against everything that is media. As what I'm saying is that he's more worried about what the media is also saying. Y'all, I can't, man, with this guy. I don't know what to think. Anyway, so I wanted to show you that post. But I mean, and then TMZ is saying something different. So note that. Hold up. Let me go back up here.
by verifiable evidence and established facts. Speculation without factual support does not advance the investigative process. End quote. From the sheriff, according to Matt Finn on Fox News. Let me just tell you the list of outlets. I've been making a quick list, and I'm sure it's longer since I started this podcast.
Oh, shit.
The different outlets that are confirming this report from their law enforcement sources: CNN, ABC, you already had Fox, you already had Fox Digital, News Nation with Brian Enton and Libby Dean, Drop Dead Serious, that's me, because I had my own source confirming all of that, CBS, and at least one of the local stations. And again, this broke fairly late tonight, and it is Monday, February 23rd. So yet again, there is reporting that the sheriff is dismissing. It is entirely possible, and I've said this before, that there are things that the FBI knows that they have not shared with the sheriff. I said that when the sheriff said to a Fox News reporter, that's not true. When the Fox News reporter asked him to comment about the FBI agents going around to local gun shops, showing photos and names to the proprietors, asking if they'd seen these people or if they'd purchased a gun. And the sheriff said, that's not true. But we'd already seen the interviews with the people who were running or working in the gun shops saying it had happened to them.
Yeah,
so
get off of
it was
it.
true. It's possible maybe the sheriff did not know at the time that that was happening with the FBI. It is entirely true that Savannah Guthrie and her siblings recorded the very first Instagram message to the alleged, ransom seekers and released it. And that the sheriff did not know that had happened. By his own admission, he learned from his wife about that video. So obviously the FBI had not shared that with the sheriff either. So is it possible that this news, this information, the sheriff didn't know about it and is saying it's purely speculative? Maybe it's because he doesn't know. Maybe it's because the FBI hasn't shared. And let's not forget, there's been this tit for tat.
They haven't shared it, but they're willing to share it with TMZ and everybody else. Do you see what I'm saying? This is a hot mess, man. This is like, who is working this damn case? Because it just doesn't seem like people seem to really get their shit together. And like I said, we're hearing one thing on the other is very divisive. Overall, it seems like it's one after another. I just can't with these people.
Going back and forth that the sheriff has hid things from the FBI, and maybe the FBI has been hiding things from the sheriff. I don't know. So I will say this as well, that Matt Finn also concluded his report saying the FBI originally described the recovered images from the Guthrie Nest camera as, quote, the morning of her disappearance, end quote. And they refer to one individual. That's interesting as well. When we got these reports, the FBI had said these images from the morning. Is it possible they accidentally included that extra still shot? The one where he doesn't have the backpack or the gun? And it is not lost on me that so many people watching this case, sleuthers, true crime fanatics, people who are just invested, care about Nancy Guthrie, care about, how the investigation's going, care about her being found. Many of you noted, he looks like he's wearing different shoes. In the picture without the backpack, without the gun, it looks like his shoes are white with black marks on the inside, at least on the inside, maybe even the outside. And in the other video where he does have the backpack and the gun, it doesn't appear that those same black designs are on the shoes. And
I'm just like shocked. This was told to us. This is the morning of her disappearance. That's what Kash Patel put on his FBI post. I'm not putting words in his mouth, right? So that's what he said. That's what he typed up. Somebody from the FBI wrote that. What is it? The morning of her disappearance. So a lot of us were here when we were reporting, we're thinking that this was the footage that was the morning of her disappearance, guys. And this is going to be the footage that is going to expose X, Y, and Z. So it's like, it's very disheartening when you're getting mixed messages from different folks, and yet you get at the media and then you get at us YouTubers when you can honestly see everybody else here putting out their resources and sources from the inside, and then we're repeating that information and then come to find out it's not even the case. Like, that does upset me. Now, I'm not even any kind of relation to Savannah Guthrie and family, but if I'm upset and I'm here as a commentator of the situation and you in the chat are here, I know that this must be like upsetting. You know what I mean? Like, we're allowed to feel. And so for me, it's like, you got this woman crying. Okay, she looked like she has aged 30 more years, because she's upset about wanting, she wants her mom recovered. At this point, she's kind of like, it's very likely that she's not alive. But then you got these damn people playing stupid, and these are the people with the badges. So what are we doing? That's the stuff that really gets to me. That's really, to sum it up. Kash Patel, listen, how you know he's lying? If the man is blinking, because he never blinks. So I didn't get a look at his face when he was talking and put that stuff out there. But literally, I don't know what else to make of this. Okay? Literally. Janet, thank you so much for this super sticker. Just a little something for your hard work. Thank you, my love. Shout out to you, my love. Thank you. I'm just like upset. I'm upset, y'all. I'm upset. And I think, and I'm just a person on the internet, but I do get in my feelings about this stuff. And whether it's $1 million that she offered or 100,000, whatever the situation may be. But honestly, like, no amount of money is ever really, like, we don't even know if a million is even going to suffice for somebody to be touched by an angel and say, you know what, I want to do the right thing. I saw what happened and I was involved and I'm about to just call it in. That's the thing that I'm waiting for somebody to say, yeah, I feel some type of way about the situation. But we have yet to hear anybody. We're at week 4, guys. Nobody. And then we're being given different pieces of information. It's crazy work. Morris, thank you so much for your 60-month membership. I think the sheriff is just here for publicity. I think so too. And I hate that. Look, I heard that the sheriff's brother died. I think, was it the day after Savannah Guthrie went missing? I don't know if people know that. I heard that somewhere. And I mean, everybody's human. We're all going through things, right? But if you can't handle this case, guess what, Sheriff? You put somebody else in there while you're dealing with your own stuff in your family, right? You put somebody else in there because you don't want it, but this is one of those cases that can either make or break a person, okay? Like a career. These are the kinds of cases that can make or break a career. So yeah, like, I get it. And him wanting to be responsive, but this is just not working. It's not working. Something ain't right about this at all. And thank you, Morris, for your lengthy membership. Thank you, my love. And thank you for supporting the channel. Oh my goodness, sorry.
Maybe that is true. Maybe they are different shoes from a different night. Everything else appears to be the same. Jacket looks the same. Pants look the same. Balaclava looks the same. We don't have the color, but contrast looks the same. But this is just massive reporting, just massive. And might it lend itself to this mystery of why was the sheriff asking neighbors to look at their doorbell videos or their security videos, specifically January 11th? We had heard that early, just a couple weeks ago. But
that was a good question. Yeah, that I would say, as much as I don't agree with a lot of, flannel, but here's the deal. She's right though. Like, we were being asked to look at other footage between certain time frames. So that does make sense now that that footage right there is likely different days, guys. It's not the same day. He just happened to be wearing maybe the same outfit one day, put the backpack down, or it could be other people, different shoes, change the shoes, or a different person. Definitely. Now, let me just say something in addition to this, okay? Let's just say something. There is footage out there of other, like, this is weird to me because I feel like, if you're getting close to a property, there's a reason why you're getting close to a property or a house. Like, you're either going to go visit or something, but somebody getting close to a property, maybe they're walking through a neighborhood. I personally do side-eye that, so this seems to be the thing in this neighborhood where people are just kind of walking through people's houses and driveways. I wouldn't be walking in anybody's private property or driveway, maybe because I'm just scared like that. You just don't be walking. It's not yours. It's not your grass. Stay off the grass type of situation. But this is a thing that happens a lot. I mean, there's a lot of ring footage out there of people just kind of just like, nah, I'm just going to walk through here with my dog. And then it's just weird, right? And we don't even know, these people might not live here or they live in a different area. They just happen to be walking by. It's totally weird. And Vicky, this is a good point that I think we should all be paying attention to. This should give us something to think about. Like the other families without the fame and what they go through when their loved ones are missing. Bingo. Okay. Here's a lady who's, well-known celebrity, right? Savannah Guthrie. I think that these journalists are celebrities to a certain degree, right? Access to money, sitting on money, right? Or resources. And this is what's happening to her. We're all watching it. So if this is happening to us, just know what we would be going through as well. We probably wouldn't even be getting all these resources and 400, officers and man hours and FBI and sheriff. Hell, even if we got the FBI, like, yeah, this is a good point. Anyways, yeah, it's not just scared. Call respect for each other. That's right, Cammie. And you respect others' property. That's what I do. I just don't be walking around people's property. But this seems to be the area where people do. So I don't know.
But then it changed. And the sheriff said, no, wider window, not just January 11th. We want January 1st to February 1st. But one of the neighbors had circulated it on the Nest or on the neighborhood app that authorities had been asking for January 11th. And now I wonder, is it possible that this casing, alleged casing, reported casing, is January 11th? Maybe that answers that mystery. I do not know. Certainly the sheriff ain't helping in all of this. And we were told, God, I don't even know, every day we've been told, don't expect a news conference. But then I think it was Friday, we were told, you're not going to get a news conference into the weekend. Then I think Saturday, probably not all week either. That my words, but effectively that messaging, maybe that'll change. Or maybe we'll get a statement that will eventually clear this up. And one other thing that true crime fanatics and sleuthers, and again, people who just are heavily invested and care a lot about this case. One other thing that you all noticed, and many of you tweeted it, talked about it on Instagram, shared it in podcast comments as well. Yes, I read them. You said, wait a minute, the light behind, like the sky behind the guy without the backpack and without the gun looks different.
Yes.
It looks like a different time of night than the guy with the backpack and the gun. Somebody else had commented the very next day, right? The very next day that they put out the
yeah, like and I'm thinking it's lighting, right? It does look like a different time of day. It looks a lot more darker out there.
FBI had put out that video, those videos and the still pictures. And there was another Twitter handle that said there were different moons. The moons came up at different times all the way, through February. And this looks to be a different date, different time, different light, maybe a different moon. So you noticed, you asked the question. And as it turns out, our sources, CNN, ABC, Fox, News Nation, Bob Dead Serious, hello, CBS, I said already, some of the locals, everybody getting confirmation from their law enforcement sources that was indeed the case, that it is a different night and that it is a night before the abduction night. Nobody knows what night or what time. Whatever it is, it's big reporting. And many folks who are in the business of reporting on true crime or have worked in true crime or have worked in law enforcement have said the same thing. Game changer. Changes the investigation.
All of us does, I think. Absolutely. You said, in Melody, I would typically, I agree, right? And they don't. The problem that I have is that they are. And what I mean by that is that they are in the sense of leaking to sources, right? So they don't have to share information, but then you have the people like TMZ. You have Brian Ensign, who has been on the money in his reporting too, right? And then Libby, who's another reporter who's getting information straight from Washington, on the movements of the FBI. So yes, I agree they don't have to share anything, but they are. And what they're sharing is just contradicting everything that the sheriff is putting out. So it's either you share or you don't. But if you have an inside FBI source to the media and they're putting it out there, I mean, that's no different than just having a press conference at this point. People are leaking things, and the leaking is happening from inside the house, right? So that's what I'm saying is like they don't have to publicly share anything and confirm anything, but they are sharing information through their own sources. You know what? Different moon. What is that? Smoke? I know, right? That would look kind of weird on that background. So that's the question that I have for you. It's like, you can't. Yeah, like there's leaking happening. Everybody getting information from their sources. Hey, let's get the sources together and compare information and cut the middleman. I think that's what we're going to have to do, honestly. Clearly, Shelly, like you might as well just get to cut the middle, cut the fatty part of the, whatever, even though it's the best part. But, it's like, let's just get to the sources. It's something right, man. It's just so weird how all this is being reported.
It can change it in myriad ways, right? It gives you a different window to be looking at. Maybe they're asking for January 11th. It also could change the offender profiling. So much of this case that we don't know about has been, maybe the FBI behavioral unit trying to figure out motive of this person, put themselves in this person's shoes to figure out what they might have done, where they might have gone, why they might have done this, hopefully in an effort to track this offender. But if he's casing, turns out there's so much more that they could be looking at, so many more pieces to the puzzle that might actually help solve this investigation. And so I turned to somebody that I've been turning to a lot lately. Spencer Corson is a former special deputy U.S. Marshal, tracked bad guys for a living for years and years. He's a threat management expert. He runs Corson Security Group, and he's the author of The Security Trap. And so I gave him a call and I said, guess what? Brand new news dropped. And this was our conversation. So, Spencer, what do you make of this reporting? And again,
Uh,
multiple sources, multiple media outlets, myself included, have confirmation on this.
with all those multiple sources, this is what I'm saying is like you might as well just have a damn press conference at this point. You have multiple sources saying different things, and yet you have the sheriff discrediting. So the sources are working against the sheriff too. And the sources apparently are FBI sources. I can't with this, man.
Listen to this new message from Savannah Guthrie.
Hi there. I'm going to say it is day 24 since our mom was taken in the dark of night from her bed. And every hour and minute and second and every long night has been agony since then of worrying about her and fearing for her, aching for her, and most of all, just missing her, We know that millions of you have been praying. So many people have been praying of every faith and no faith at all, praying for her return. And we feel those prayers. Please keep praying without ceasing. We still believe. We still believe in a miracle. We still believe that she can come home. Hope against hope. As my sister says, we are blowing on the embers of hope. We also know that she may be lost. She may already be gone. She may have already gone home to the Lord that she loves and is dancing in heaven with her mom and her dad.
You know what, Vicky? Now I'm questioning that too. Let me look up because I said it too. I thought that the sheriff said it was from her bed or she was abducted. Like it was in the second press conference. We'll have to look that up.
And with her beloved brother Pierce and with our daddy. And if this is what is to be, then we will accept it. But we need to know where she is. We need her to come home. For that reason, we are offering a family reward of up to $1 million for any information that leads us to her recovery. All of the information about this reward and the details is in the caption below. You can call the 1-800-TIP line. You can be anonymous if you want.
Okay.
Someone out there knows something that can bring her home. Somebody knows. And we are begging you to please come forward now.
Let me stop right here. Look, this was February 6th. Sheriff believes Nancy Guthrie went to bed before she was abducted overnight. February 6th. Okay. And this was what is being said. Now, this was again, February 6th is when he was doing his media tour of all the interviews. And he says at about 9:50 p.m., that garage door closes because at that time, we assume that Nancy's home and probably going to bed. Nanos said at the press conference. Okay. Then February 6th, Nanos cleared up the confusion when he told people, we know she had gone to bed. In a previous interview with NBC, when you're taken from your bed, he did say that. He did say that at the very end. Now I remember. He said when he was asking a question, he's like, when you're taken from your bed, people, everybody should be concerned and stuff like that. When you're taken from your bed, and I remember saying specifically, did he just tell us something we weren't supposed to know? When you're taken from your bed, you don't want to go somewhere. That's an abduction. That was the second press conference at the very end of the press conference, Vicky. And the only reason I remember that is because he wasn't supposed to say that. He wouldn't confirm anything else. But then when he said that at the very end, it kind of told people something that it gave some insight. And then he further says, Nanos knows that he fucked up here. So then he says, but Nanos meant that figuratively and did not mean that she was literally taken from her bed. This is what he clarified with NBC later on. So he said that at the end of the second press conference. And then he went back to the media and said, I meant that figuratively. It's all coming back to me now. It's all coming back to me now. Yes, it is. Celine Dion. Okay, so that's what I remember. Some may write. You said, but could the masked man be someone she knows, someone she felt safe with? Well, I guess that would be if he took off. I wouldn't even know. Like, you mean like she just walked out? Then how do you explain the blood in the porch? He did walk it back. So it's a mess and a half, man.
We also know that we are not alone in our loss. We know there are millions of families that have suffered with this kind of uncertainty. And for that reason, today, we also are donating $500,000 to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
That's really cool that they're doing that too, by the way. I will say that.
For their work in helping families who are coping with loss and actively looking for those who are lost. We are hoping that the attention that has been given to our mom and our family will extend to all the families like ours who are in need and need prayers and need support. So please, if you hear this message, if you've been waiting and you haven't been sure, let this be your sign to please come forward, tell what you know, and help us bring our beloved mom home so that we can either celebrate a glorious, miraculous homecoming or celebrate the beautiful, brave, and courageous and noble life that she has lived. Please be the light in the dark. Thank you.
Our Nancy Lou back there in Tucson, we just listened to that together for the first time. Nancy Lou, that was just absolutely heart-wrenching and very powerful.
Yeah.
Asking for anybody, like, now is your moment. This is it. What did you make of the words and the reward that was offered?
So hold up. Let me go up a little bit. Hey Shazzy, how are you? You said, I refuse to believe that any criminal would case a house with the same outfit. I mean, so what was he so surprised when he came back the second time, huh? Well, that's the question. Casing the house with the same outfit didn't change the outfit. That's what I would want to know. That's what I want to know, you know? Casing the house in the same thing. You said, what if she opened the door and there was a struggle at the front door and the first time he was there, she didn't open it? Hired help? Maybe some homeless guy? I don't know. I'm not surprised that he wouldn't have. You mean like, why wouldn't he change his outfit? Why wear the same outfit, right? Like, why give this impression that, you're like, you wouldn't change the outfit? I get what you're saying. I don't know. I think it could go both ways. I think he could just use the same outfit, because he was comfortable in it. People wear specific outfits for these things all the time. Look at the people robbing stores and masking with celebrities and President Mask. Yeah. You said, Rabbit, look into the sister's book. Yeah, she said that she pretended there was a summer of the kidnapping. We did talk about that, I want to say about a week ago. Right. The pain and agony. I mean, all of this is so crazy. See, that's the part that I don't understand. I don't know if I believe the timestamp part. I mean, the date, the timestamp part, I don't know. So here's the question. If we don't have a timestamp to that footage, how do we know that we don't even know if that was in January. That could have been in December. That could have been before that. That could have been a year ago. I don't know. Like, how they're not even giving us a time frame of anything. So how do we know? You said, unless maybe he wanted to rest out the cam, like to see if it was actually working. That might explain why he came back to put the flowers and stuff by the camera. Maybe it was to see if anything would happen. Right. Like to see if that would alert. You know how sometimes when there's like action in your camera, that could happen too, where it's like you get a notification somebody's in front of your door without them even knocking. So maybe he was testing that out. But the question is, we don't even know a time or date stamp, right? So that could have been December. We don't even know if that was January or December or February. We don't know anything. You said, I think it's the same day, different times. If it was different days, she would have seen him at some point before it was recorded. I think Nancy knew the masked man. Maybe he was dragging her out of the house. She didn't want to leave, so he knocked her out and caused the bleeding. Potentially, anything is possible, man. He said, I think it's the same jacket he wore over the jeans. Some may write, but I think we know so little, really. Yeah, we do. We really do. We don't know a lot. It's a lot of speculation. But they're also not helping in that situation.
Offered, and also a reward for other missing families who are dealing with unbearable loss as well.
Yeah, it's just heart-wrenching to see and hear, and you just feel that pain that they are going through. But a $1 million family reward, I mean, that's remarkable. And hopefully that does bring the information that can, crack this case. And sadly, she also acknowledged that Nancy Guthrie may already be gone, already gone home to heaven. But they need to know where she is.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based.
Stop. And you will get fact-based, unbiased. Let me do that commercial for News Nation because y'all be doing too much over here. Hell, man, I'm in shock, y'all. I really, really am in shock. How does that happen? They don't need to tell us anything, of course. It is what it is, but I just, damn, this crazy work. Look at this. In Harvey, they're promoting that the case is going cold. That was yesterday. Nancy Guthrie case going cold. I don't even know what to say, y'all. If I was Savannah, I would be upset with these people, man. And these are her former colleagues. But you got to make money, I guess. That's how it is. Look at this. Oh. Now this is Fox.
To you about the Nancy Guthrie case, because we are now in day 24 of the search for her. And a source with knowledge of this investigation now says that images from that Nest camera that were released were actually taken on separate dates. And the Pima County Sheriff's Office responded. They did not confirm nor deny this report. This is their exact quote. They say there is no date or timestamp associated with these images. Therefore, any suggestion that the photographs were taken on different days is purely speculative. So pushing back on that reporting. What does this mean, and how should we process this information about the possibility that these images that we've seen are not on one day, but two separate occasions?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Carly, since day one, I've been saying that the way that they were able to recover these images is through these data points. It's not like camera rolling like we would be used to in terms of a recording. These are images that they put together based on this data that they received from the camera. And I've said since day one, there's no timestamp on these. So how are we sure that these were on that date if they're just putting together these data points?
Exactly.
So it does appear in these videos that this person does have.
One of this could have been December. It could have been two different people. One of them could have been in October. I don't know, man.
Have backpack in one photo, no backpack in another. Does that mean it was removed? Does that mean it was put on? Does that mean these are different days? The answer is we don't know. And the fact that the sheriff's office continues to put out these contradictory statements where we get one minute it's two things, 1 minute we don't know, 1 minute we can't speculate. All this continues to do is question the integrity of this investigation. And they continue to do it, and I'm not sure why.
And really quickly, because we are running.
What if the FBI is doing this on purpose too? Hear me out. What if the FBI is intentionally trying to sabotage this shit too? Like they're trying to make themselves look, even though that doesn't really help either, right? But they're intentionally trying to sabotage the stuff for the sheriff too. That could also be an explanation, right? They're intentionally putting this out here, instead of actually working in collaboration with each other, they're actually doing this to make the sheriff look bad. And it's working. Note that. But still, you would think that they're kind of both doing it at the same time. It's possible. I'm wondering, because if the FBI was invited to help out, why are the FBI sources talking to other people instead of just having a meeting and then them figuring out, well, what do we together say to the media? You think the FBI has better things to do? I'm just wondering, because now I'm gonna have to think. And by the way, shout out to there was a person who sent me a screenshot that they were in this chat, and somebody was playing Cuomo's clip, and somebody said in the chat, "Shut up, Cuomo. This is what Rabbit said," or something like that. Apparently, that's catching on when I say "Shut up, Cuomo." Hopefully, I don't know if Cuomo will hear that. They do need to fix that News Nation clip anyways. But there is in Cheeks, they have spun a narrative without actually spinning one, right? Like directly. Like it's been their sources. But it does kind of make me wonder, what if the FBI is intentionally doing that? Because it is giving distraction, right? Huh. Okay. Just wondering.
At time, but if this does show 2 different days, that would be casing her house at a level of premeditation. When it comes to the legal aspect of that, does that elevate the charges involved here?
I don't know if it elevates the charges. It will depend on what the charges are, but there's definitely, if it is different days, you're right. It is premeditation. There is a situation where they must have been, watching her, which would make sense because they happen to know what time she got home that day. So we'll see what happens here. We're just continuing to hope she is returned one way or another.
Continuing to hope and continuing to question. Donna, thank you so much for joining us.
I'm Steve Doocy.
Yeah, man. I mean, let me tell you, man, it's so weird. All of this is so weird. All of it is weird. That's what I have to say about that. It's not making sense. None of it is making sense. And, it doesn't even feel like we're getting anywhere near closer to the truth of any of it. Mike Dale, is it Mike Dale? Mike Dale, thank you so much for becoming a member. Shout out to you. Y'all, listen, we'll be live later talking more about this. If there's, you never know what kind of news is going to come about this. Okay. Every time I think, all right, things are calming down a little bit, but are we finding more information? We don't even know. Okay. We don't. We need to kind of get to the bottom of a lot of this. And is Nancy Guthrie going to be found? That's really the question. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know about calling this a cold case. I think it's stupid to do that. But I also think that it is very obvious that PIMA and the FBI are not really working together. You could see it. It's weird to have one source say something and then another source say something. And now we have, I think, a different theory, or we can open our door to different things that might have happened here. Anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go because I gotta go and do some stuff. But shout out to everybody. I really want to thank everybody for supporting the channel. You guys are amazing. Thank you. What else? There was something else I was gonna say before I leave. It'll probably come back to me later. I can't remember right now. But thank you so much, guys, so much for supporting the channel, and I will see you guys maybe later on in the evening. I was supposed to go yesterday, but I got kind of tired. I'll probably be live later in the evening. All right. I'll see you guys later. Hit the like button. And again, thank you for supporting. Bye, guys. Bye.